We are bringing Founders Live to Nashville. So you guys are all getting familiar with Founders Live. I'll tell you a little bit about the city leaders. You want to come up and tell about yourself? So Shane and myself are the two city leaders. I'm Taylor Duncan, and then there's Shane Schoen. I'll let Shane go real quick. Me first. All right, so Shane is the chief mingle officer. I'm the chief stand-up tall officer. So Shane and I, we work together. We've known each other for over a decade now. We met, I ran a national company that took college students and gave them a chance to be an entrepreneur for the summertime. And I ran it throughout, coast to coast, even got into Canada. Shane was one of the top salespeople 12, 13, 14 years ago, rose through the ranks, and then he decided to leave me. And so I stayed with that company. I was running that company. I recently sold that company. And I moved my family, my 5 little kids, my wife. We moved from Chicago. Anyone here from Chicago? Way better down here.
You don't have to admit it. We understand. We understand.
I have the mic, so I have to tell people. So we moved from Chicago down here. And then Shane and I bumped into each other. We had known each other before. We grabbed coffee, and we basically came together to grow and scale the company that Shane founded called Next Level, which is a technology staffing company. So we got some of our Next Level folk are here with us. Love having you guys. And so that's how we got together. That's a little bit about me and how I got here. Nick reached out to us and said, hey, I got this thing in Seattle. You're from Seattle. I'd love to open it up in Nashville. Would you guys want to do it? I've done a bunch of angel deals in the past and been involved in, had a couple of them just get acquired and so on. So I'm really into entrepreneurship, startups, angel investing, etc. Now really getting into the tech space as well. So for me, I was like, I'd love to, right? I love mingling. I love meeting new people. I'm new here. I'd love to. So now let me pass it over to Shane real quick to tell you a little bit about himself.
Yeah, so kind of what Taylor was talking about, eventually, Taylor was like, at that point, I was like an intern, was like my mentor. And eventually, literally, he's got to fly away from the giant, who's scary and awesome, but scary. And so, when I ended up leading the organization that I met Taylor with originally, I was up in Canada, and I wanted to do the whole entrepreneurial thing, and that was my goal, and it was kind of scary, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs here today, and we all know what that means, and that meant I had a apartment in Vancouver, BC, and if it didn't fit my maxima the day that I quit, it just was put on the side of the road and had a free sign. And my family has this whole conversation about how, I gotta be on there for the live stream. My family has this whole joke around when I ended up leaving Taylor's organization. It was my year where I was homeless in Hawaii, where I was like going door to door for like Airbnbs, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was soul searching, right? And while I was like interviewing on the beach, and I was trying to figure out what to do next after I just dumped everything on the side of the road, I ended up joining a staffing agency, did really, really well, and ultimately ended up figuring out there's a lot of problems in the staffing industry. So I ended up starting a company called Talentful. Talentful was a machine learning and artificial intelligence platform that did identity resolution. We ultimately ended up selling, and then after I sold that, I ended up working over at Facebook, ended up working at Zillow, the Climate Corporation, and did a bunch of talent acquisition strategy and helping figure out their bottlenecks across the world, and most recently ended up accidentally ending up in Nashville for a lot of reasons that probably 90% of you are here today for, which is Nashville is a cool city and has a lot of promise, and I think that's what we're all here for, is like, how do we figure out our next generation promise? How do we make sure that we're building the next cool thing in a city that we know is going to grow, and everyone here is going to help grow with it? And so that's one of the reasons why I got really, really excited about wanting to join and do Founders Live with Taylor and Nick, is because this city's got a lot of promise, and we're super excited to see it grow. And the people pitching tonight, I'm excited to see exactly where they are in 10 years from now. So I'm going to pass it back to Taylor. Stop boring you guys.
All right. Thank you, Shane. All right. So, and he's right. Everything he said. Nashville is such a vibrant, amazing place. And it isn't right now, we all know it, Silicon Valley, but it has all the same potential without, some of the stuff that's making people move, right? It is such an amazing spot to run a business and to grow a business and to be a startup and everything else. And so Shane and I looked at it like our opportunity to support that, to be right around and build the ecosystem of startups, entrepreneurship, angel investing, VC, developers, tech, etc. How can we be at the center of it? So Founders Live Nashville, that's how it all began. So I'm going to bring up Nick real fast. Nick, you won't be here at every event. Shane and I will be. We will be at every Founders Live event, for better or for worse. We will be at every one. Nick will not. Nick is the founder of Founders Live. He couldn't possibly be in the 70 cities across 25 countries, whichever one it was. So he can't be at all of them. But he happened to be here in Nashville as we're launching. And by the way, we are live streaming all throughout the world. So this is our first hybrid live streaming and live event. Hi, Indonesia. Hi, everyone. That's our camera. So I kind of feel like a rock star a little bit there. So Nick, come on up and tell them a little bit about the core values of Founders Live and introduce yourself for the people who are smart enough to come to the very first event.
Thank you, Taylor. Let's give it up for Taylor. Welcome to Founders Live. This, Founders Live Nashville is a long time coming, okay? It wasn't that I was late to the party of Nashville. I reached out to people, I think it was 2018, 2019. We didn't find the right people, or at that point in time, we just didn't have the right lock-in of people. So it happened, thankfully. All I can say is this. I've been waiting a long time to get back to this. How about you all? And, I'm from Seattle, so we're a bit different up there. And it's still, closed off. They're getting back into it. But this is one of our first in-person events. We're hybrid, obviously, as we had mentioned. But, it's so great to be here. I've been here 2 weeks. I might end up here long term, just so you know. And this is my first time here, and I said, holy shit, this is a beautiful city. So I don't want to take too much time, but what I want to say is that, I started Founders Live in Seattle to really give entrepreneurs, no matter what they look like, no matter who they are, no matter where they grew up, no matter what's language they speak, no matter how they identify, that they get equal opportunity for success. And, you don't need to be in Silicon Valley. If you're in Nashville, even though it's up and coming, I know, there's just a lot of work to do. And, it's so important to bring this here to really give exposure, connection, and opportunity to founders and entrepreneurs around the world.
I'm Brandon with Meal Pops, the restaurant cash app. We offer consumers hundreds of dollars of cash vouchers to top local restaurants, refreshed every month for just $5 per month. So in the restaurant industry, there's one customer that's coveted above all, and that's a loyalty app subscriber. The reason is that they spend more, they frequent the restaurant more, and they're typically a longer-term customer. The problem is that 80% of the restaurant industry think they're small, locally owned, independent, or even franchisees restaurants can't create the same program and the same revenue from loyalty programs. That may be between they don't have the resources, they don't have the cash, or they don't have the brand equity. And if they spent the money, they may not have the return on investment from that spend based on their size. So let me introduce you to Grouped Loyalty for Restaurants. We allow restaurants to offer direct-to-consumer promotions free of charge to attain, retain, and engage new customers. For restaurants, we reduce their customer acquisition cost by on average 60%. I'll say that again. We reduce their customer acquisition cost by 60%, cheaper than pay-per-click. We don't impede customer service of their typical customer transaction, and they own the customer relationship 100%. So no third-party contractors, you don't have to worry about someone sticking your hand in your order of French fries. Benefits for diners, you can use your vouchers for happy hours, lunch, dinner, breakfast, and so on. There's no minimum spends, no menu restrictions, and no third-party contractors at any time. And our progress today, we currently have an inventory for $15 million and vouchers that you can use today for just $5 per month. We've served 25,000 customers, and if you use Founders Live, yes, it is cap sensitive, so make sure your F and L get 30 minutes free. And I'm going to keep talking through the class. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the founder of Itty Ditty, and we are rebuilding trust in the music industry. For today's independent singer-songwriters, finding and working with quality music producers and getting your songs done right is not only extremely confusing and difficult, but it's also super high risk. In fact, 80% of songwriters say that they have a horrible time with this. 80%. So this is a huge problem. You see, in the old music industry, record labels used to pair songwriters with producers and oversee the process, but now they don't. In today's current industry landscape, independent songwriters are up against working with many amateur producers and just bad seeds with no oversight and no protection. They're alone, they're vulnerable, and they're in bad situations. Itty Ditty is the solution. We are rebuilding trust in the music industry, and we are starting with the songwriter-producer relationship. We provide vetting of producers, third-party oversight, and security so songwriters always own 100% of their song. This is a songwriter we worked with named Macy. She posted her song to Itty Ditty, just a phone recording of her song. Then she got a song blueprint, a proprietary technology that helped her flesh out the vision for her song. Next, our vetted producers around the world reached out to her to say that they were interested in working with her. Macy chose a handful of these producers to move forward with, and these producers actually created a sketch of her song. She listened through the sketches to hear what it would sound like working with one producer versus the next, and then she chose her favorite producer and hired her favorite producer to complete the song. With Itty Ditty, the best producers rise to the top, and songwriters are protected and empowered to get their songs done right. Thank you.
So 2020, it was a dumpster fire, wasn't it? But especially for the meetings and events industry. And I am a meeting planner. So I went through 2020 trying to help my clients through this crazy. But in 2020, we had to pivot the industry. Well, as travel was halted, the industry was going through a crazy time, and virtual became the new norm. Planners were looking for new ways to source virtually because travel was halted. But as we're getting back, they don't want to travel anymore. They want to source virtually. We're already doing this with real estate. We're buying homes online. We're buying cars online virtually. So digital engagement is absolutely critical right now. Customers aged 18 to 34 are 130% more likely to book a place if there is a virtual tour, and websites with virtual tours receive up to 10 times longer views than those without. So we are bringing sensory engagement, virtual visits, and increased conversion rates. So what's the solution? Versatour, an online platform for virtual site tours for event planners to source virtually using this technology that we can bring any sort of virtual site tour straight to the event planner so they can source from their desk, which also means that they are saving time, money, and the planet. So how does it work? View virtual site tours using a robust search engine, add to wish list to optimize their tracking, and send requests for proposals directly to the sites. Who's it for? The venues can sign up for a membership, hotels, convention centers, and then event planners, and that's Versatour.
So happiest place on earth. We believe everywhere that you travel should be the happiest place on earth. And with that guiding principle, we built Lena, the travel digital concierge that lives on your phone, guides you through your travels, and gets you where you want to go. Gone are the days where you're sitting on your search engine going, where should I go? What should I see? Who should I do it with? Or where should I go and who I'm with? Based on that, the people that you're with, the people that matter to you, will they like it? Will they not like it? Lena offers suggestions based on where you're going, who you're with, and what you want to do. The accommodations that are out there today we're connected to help you get there. All the things are at your fingertips. Are you with your loved one that is wanting you to go to the next place? When you go to that loved one that you're on a romantic getaway. The second one, if you're with your family on a family vacation. Third, if you're with your friends, maybe in Nashville, that means bachelorette party. And finally, as we start investing in our customers again, that business traveler, guiding you to that new restaurant that you didn't know was there. Finally, we know that you should be rewarded for your travel, right? And so Lena offers games that allow you to win more keys and win prizes from the partners that we have. Our hometown is Nashville. We're in Charleston and Atlanta, scheduled for the end of this year. Our beta partner is Dream Hotel Nashville. Go to your favorite search engine, search up Dream Hotel Nashville, and with that, download that app, and more functionality is coming soon.
Without further ado, our winner, as voted by the audience, Versatour, Debbie Garcia, come on up. So all presenters will get some AWS credits. They get obviously a lot of promotion. What else? Some Google Cloud credits. It's a whole goodie bag package that all presenters get. The winner gets double all of it. And Debbie will be moving on in much more regional live streamed, regional events. If she can win those, she'll move on to the international. It's called Prime Time.
I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, I will bring Nick up to talk about it. But one thing that all founders who win get to do is they get a couple extra minutes to tell their story. So you have a couple of minutes to tell your story about where Versatour came from and why you're so passionate about it.
Wow, thank you guys. That's incredible. Thank you so much. So a little bit about me. So I am originally from New York. I moved to Nashville 18 years ago. I was a video producer and audio engineer. I spent 12 years doing audio engineering. I'm an avid certified editor. And then after I got laid off, I decided that I'm going to go full force into this events industry. This hospitality industry is so much like producing radio and television. Well, I was kind of right, but it's a little more difficult as you're producing events. I've actually produced events at that stadium right there. I worked over at Nissan Stadium a little while. But I've worked in the hospitality industry for now 12 years. Started in hotels and venues. The Bridge building I opened the Cambria Hotel down here in 8th Avenue. And then decided I needed to be a little closer to my two kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old right now, and wanted to be a meeting planner. I wanted to get on the other side and get some more props because we get everything as meeting planners, including Versatour is free for meeting planners. But what I found when I was trying to help my clients this year doing venue sourcing was that there was nothing out there for us to watch virtually. And what was the most important about that is, I don't know how many of you have kids. A lot of you are very, very young, and I can probably be your mother. But the ones of us who have kids at home doing virtual school all day, lost your job, lost all your commission, lost your Airbnb, everything that I lost last year, I would go and try and find stuff for my clients in the future. And what I found was I would watch like Netflix at night. And I was like, wow, you know what? I can probably work at night if I can find videos to venue source. And really thought about Versatour as a place where we can go whenever we want to as a meeting planner and venue source at night or in the morning or on our own time, and not have to make an appointment with a hotel or a venue to go see it, or fly across the world when I can't leave my kids for that long. So that's where the idea came from. And I've also worked for 2 startups and kind of had the vision, learned vulnerability, learned what it is to just get out there and have an idea and be passionate about it. So if any of you have an idea, just remember that it's probably an idea, you're probably solving a problem, and it's really important, so go after it and tell the world about it. Thank you, guys.
Well, what does the next year for Versatour look like?
So the next year of Versatour, we are looking for funding. We have not raised any capital yet because I really thought this was going to be customer-led, and as we found out, the hospitality industry is like, we love it, we have no money. So we're looking for investors right now, and hopefully in the next 2 months we'll have an additional 8,000 hotels on the site, and hopefully within the next year we're going to be up to 20,000 hotels and venues worldwide, and hopefully more than that. So we are revenue generating right now, but we hope to be in a bigger place where we start taking over the venue sourcing world.